What you don't want to do is to create a single page provisional, and then a year from now, I'll be writing a patent application for you that's 50 pages in length. And people are going to look at it and say, oh, wait a minute. You file a one-page provisional and now it's 50 pages. Something is missing here. You have added new things in between. And so therefore, you're not entitled to that provisional date. For a startup, we look at different stages in the life of the company. If it's a one-man person with an idea, we recommend using a provisional patent application to lay the foundation in place in a very inexpensive and low-cost manner. As the company matures with different iterations, what we do is we lay in a series of application that protects the pivot that the founder has done. And in that way, we help the company refine the scope of protection in a way that's cost effective. You tell a company to look at the marketing material that it releases. So the marketing material typically points in specific features that are important to the customers, features that distinguishes the company from the competition. So you can use that as a starting point to figure out how to protect the things that are important to the company. There are also items that are not mentioned in the marketing literature that's also still important. But those we can get through talking with the engineers or the founder, and we can say, hey, what are some of the critical things that you've done that other people coming after you must also solve to create the product? That tells me where the roadblocks that we need to protect for the company. So you can approach it from two ways. One is from the customer-driven approach, the features that are important to the customer. And the second is from the bottom up, where how do you build a system and what are the challenges associated with creating a functional system? Whoever is doing a follow-up or a clone approach of the startup's products, they are likely to face the same problem. If we block that, we have given the company a very good head start. The provisional application is an informal way of establishing an early priority date. Some people have taken it to literally just dumping in the engineering notes. That's one way of thinking about a provisional. We recommend a more refined approach to that. On one extreme, you can be very informal, and on the other extreme, like a drug company, they prepare a provisional application as though it is a non-provisional, i.e. a case that's going to get examined. So what happened is, in a provisional application, within 1 year, you must convert that into a non-provisional. The way the drugs company do it correctly is they create the application in a shape that at the end of the 1 year period, when you convert them, all they do is they drop the same copy, and now it is converted from a provisional to a non-provisional. There's no variance at all. So that's good because all the details are there at the beginning. So why do they do this? They do this because they want to gain an extra year of life. And that extra year of life for a medical device company or a drug company can be worth billions of dollars. So that's the proper way of doing a provisional application. Now, most people, they don't quite go through all that degree because it's very expensive to do a non-provisional upfront. They use a provisional as a mechanism to informally collect all the notes and get an early priority date. So I think the right answer is somewhere in between. You want something that's detailed enough that when you convert from a provisional into a non-provisional, all the details are there. What you don't want to do is to create a single page provisional, and then a year from now, I'll be writing a patent application for you that's 50 pages in length. And people are going to look at it and say, oh, wait a minute. You file a one-page provisional and now it's 50 pages. Something is missing here. You have added new things in between, and so therefore you're not entitled to that provisional date. So that's why you want to have that balance between cost and detail and formality. The way the drugs company do it is the right way to do the provisional, which is to extend the life of their patent protection by another year, which is worth billions to them. The way many startups that lack money, they do it basically on the back of an envelope, and that is not the right approach. So I suggest that something is in between. You don't need to spend the money to write up a formal patent application, a non-provisional, but you should have a lot of details in it. So Focus on the details when you submit the information for a provisional patent application. The provisional is not a legal document. It's really a technical document. So therefore, I would dump all the engineering information into that. Now, of course, eventually the provisional application is going to become a public document. So you don't want to be just putting your raw stuff into there. You need to filter it out. What you need is sufficient details so that somebody, another engineer in the same space, could implement this. I.e., think of it like it's a specification for a third party contract designer or manufacturer to build. If you have that detail, they can build it. And so that's the test is there sufficient information in there for somebody skilled in your area to read it, understand it, and implement the device?